So far, we have seen what is EC2 and understood the basic concept of EC2. Now what we are going to do is that we are going to see that how to provision a server in Amazon AWS cloud using the EC2 services. So this is a hands-on experience and real live demo of using EC2 in Amazon cloud. So for that, what you have to do is that very simple, come to your AWS console.aws.amazon.com/console/home, and once you come here, click EC2. So let us click EC2, and when you will click the EC2 link, it will take you to the EC2 dashboard. So this is called EC2 dashboard. So before I get into this one, let us try to understand a little bit about various things here in EC2 dashboard. First thing you will see is that this side it calls my resources. Okay. This is called my resources. And these are some of the links you can read and understand. This shows about the current status of EC2 in various zones. So the first thing what you have to understand is this called region. So in which region of AWS you want your server to be created or provisioned. So there are various servers, various regions in which you can create your server. If you see here, it starts with US East, US West, US West North California, European West Ireland, Asia Pacific Singapore, Asia Pacific Tokyo, South America Sao Paulo. So depending on your preference of a geography, you can create your own server in that particular geographical region. So first thing to select is which geography region you want to create. So if you want European West Ireland, then select that, and the moment you will select this, you will see that something has changed, and that change is here. Now it says that Europe in this region, in this particular region, these are the zones available. So every region has its own set of zones, and it will tell you that whether anything there is a problem in that zone or not. Everything is fine. Yes, European Union, Europe West in Ireland has 3 zones, West 1A, West 1B, West 1C, and each of the zone is operating normally and available, and it is perfectly fine for you to create a server there. So find out this region, and then corresponding to that, find out the zones if there are any problem or not. Once you find out the region and zone, you are ready to get your instance of your server. Okay. Now let us assume that you want it in another region. I want it in US West North California. Maybe your customer and your businesses are in that region, so latency will be little less. You might want to have your server in the US West itself. Okay. So if I want a US West, then I will check, okay, for US West North California, these are the various zones available. Okay. So that is what is all about region and zone. It just tells that in which geography you are going to use, you are going to have your servers running. If you are from if your customers are in Asia Pacific, then the best thing to do is that go to Asia Pacific Singapore, if it is closer to Singapore, and find out what are the various zones available for that, and you can try to do that. There are 2 zones, East 1A and East 1B. It is for load balancing purpose, and you can use any one of these as you want to do it. So these are the zones available for Singapore. You can come here and select whichever you wanted. So this was the concept of region and zone. Now let us check few other things. What are the various services related to EC2 in that, how it is going on, that is provided here. Most important thing is that it tells you about what are the various resources available for you in that system. So you have how many running instances you have. You don't have any server right now. How many EBS volumes you have created? Nothing. How many key pair? You have one key pair and that is related to your user ID. So key pairs are basically related to how many user ID you have. Elastic IP addresses. How many snapshots you have taken? Snapshots is like taking a image of your external EBS volume. So this is a EBS volume and EBS snapshot. So this is the volume you are using, but at a particular period of time for a backup purpose or for recreating a system, you might want to take a snapshot like for archival and storage purpose and for reusing it. So how many snapshots you have created, that is called EBS snapshots. Do you have a load balancer? No, do not. I have one security group which I am using it. So placement group and security group. Placement group is not supported in Asia Pacific Singapore, so you can leave it. Now, once you get a understanding of this, is basically a status report of what are the various resources you are using in Asia Pacific Singapore region. Okay. Now the next one, what we are going to do is that we will just see that how do we create an instance. Now after you check that what is my resources, what is a region, what are the availability zone, and these are the related links. Next part is that this guy. So what are the options and menus you can do. So instances tells you that what are the various instances of basically instances of your server, instances of your Amazon machine image AMI, whatever you want to call, but to the simplistic way, we'll just call it the servers you need it from Amazon Cloud, EC2, okay? And we know that the instances or this Amazon servers are of three types. One is called on-demand instances, other is called spot request, and that is a third is called reserved instances. Spot request is basically the bidding one. Reserved instances has some kind of a little bit long-term commitment that I will use the servers for that. And images are AMIs and bundle tasks. That these are AMIs are like a template. Using that you can create a new instances and all. Elastic block storage is the volume, how many additional external hard drive or external disk you are using it, how many snapshots you have taken of those external disk. So those are the things which are possible here. So we'll see all of that one by one and we'll go by that. So what we are going to do is that we are just going to create a new server in Amazon Cloud by clicking this launch instance. So first we'll use, you can use any of the wizard, classic wizard, quick launch, or AWS marketplace. For a beginner, I generally support that just use the classic wizard and go from there. Click here continue. Now in this one you will see that there are a lot of things. These are the basically AMIs. AMI means Amazon machine image template. What it means is that based on these template, it will create a new server. So it is already defined that which operating system, 64-bit, 32-bit, RAM, database, yes, no, all of those are well defined. Now if you want a server like this, then use this. If you have created your own template or something like that, then you can use it. Now other than Amazon standard templates, these are standard templates or standard AMI. lot of other people also contribute their AMI called community AMI. What it means is that various individual organization, they create their own template of a server and contribute to the Amazon cloud. You can use one of those templates to create your own instance of server. Okay? Or you can go to the AWS marketplace and you can buy the AMI as well. But for the time purpose, we'll just focus on the standard templates or standard AMI images provided by Amazon itself for creating the server. So what we'll do is that we'll just take this one, Amazon Linux AMI, this one 64-bit, and we'll go with this one. Okay. It will ask that how many such instances you want to create, 1, 2 or 3, or how many servers you want to create. So first you have to check that number of instances. 1, what kind of a server you want. Is it a instance is micro, small, high CPU you want, 5 ECU, 2 ECU, how powerful you want the server, 1 core, 2 core, 4 core, how much RAM you want, 613 megabits, 1.7 GB, 1.7, 3.7, 7.5, 15 GB, depending on what is your requirement. This is a RAM. Okay. Now once you decide what is the RAM, how many servers you want, and availability zone. In this geography, there are 2 zones called Southeast 1A, Southeast 1B. Do you want in 1B, 1A, or you have no preference? Wherever I want, you can do it. And this is called on-demand instance. This is, you can leave it for the time being. This is the bidding one, so not required. So let us say continue. Once it does a continue, it will create some hardware related IDs. One it calls RAM disk ID and other is called kernel ID, which it uses for provisioning of your system. So kernel ID, I will say use the default. It has these kernel IDs. I will say use whatever default you want, and RAM disk ID it will use. Do you want CloudWatch service for monitoring of this instance or monitoring of the server? If you want, you can say yes. If you don't want, you can just cancel it. For the time being, I will just take it a standard one. Okay. So base 64 encoded, prevention against accidental termination, shutdown behavior, and all of that. Okay. So once you take these options and select these options, you can say continue, and then it will say that in your Linux which you have selected, you have created a device this, a snapshot ID is this, 8 GB, volume type is standard, delete on termination true, very simple, and then continue. If you want to give some tags like name or anything, company name, group or anything. So basically this is used for identifying your instance, or this is also useful when you have large number of instances, then you can add a tag to various servers and use it for your own purpose. This is not for any technical reason, but it is more for a management of large number of servers. We will skip that one for the time being and we'll say continue. It also asks that which key pair you want to use to log into this server. So basically whenever this key pair is used for SSH, public and private key pair we are talking about. So whenever you will do a login, remote login to this server, it will use a public and private key encryption, and this time it is asking that which key pair you want to associate to this server for login purpose. I will use the same master key pair. I have one login for this one, or you can create a completely new key pair here as well. So it is all up to you which key pair, or you can proceed without a key pair if you are planning only to use it through the console and not through command prompt SSH login. It will ask create a new security group. For the time being, let us assume that these are the standard group name and description. These groups are used, as we have explained in the previous sessions, groups are used for management of resources, whether of the people or the resources, and for security purpose as well. What it means is that in this group, this system belongs to this group, and this group has only one port open, and that is SSH. Once all of that is ready, you can review everything and check what you have selected. So what I have done is there, here if you see, what we have done here is that we have selected a Amazon Linux AMI. I want to create an instance of Linux. I want only one server. It is a micro type. And what is the micro type? The server and all is. Monitoring I have disabled. I don't want that. Shutdown behavior is just stop it and all that. And then I have used key pair called master key pair. If you want details of this, you can click this, edit AMI, edit instance details, and all of that. Now I will say launch. And since I did the launch, your instances are now launching. It takes few minutes maybe, but that's pretty much it. So let us go ahead and see. Right now it says 0 running instances, right, earlier. Now I will say refresh and see that if that instance has started or not. It has not yet started, but you can go here and click instances, and you can find out there is one instances which is running, and status check is initializing. So once this completes, your instance is ready for use. So this is what I am talking about, creating a server or instance for your own purpose. And this is available at this domain. Public DNS address is this one. So this is the address by which you can log into your server, you can install something and find out whatever you want to do. So creating a EC2 instance is very simple, and we have one created here. So this is the EC2 instance. Okay. Once you put some kind of HTTP server or this, you can also test it here, but it is all up to you. Now once we have created a EC2 instance, that kinds of gives us our first step in using AWS EC2. Now we will go and see that what are the other services for Amazon for us.